Allison, don't go.
This was a mistake.
No, it isn't. Trust me. I know how hard it is to get here. It's damn near impossible, and you did it. Don't run away now because of me.
Yesterday, Americans woke up to a viral news story about Morgan Freeman and a young girl who just gave up the ghost. Already, Morgan is not one new to holding America's attention for a widow's mite, but 9-year-old Christine Carter had requested something from him that'd make her life worth living, and it had nothing to do with money. Christine grew up in Mississippi but began schooling in New York because her parents moved. Her childhood was practically perfect with great friends, love from her family, and an admiration for Morgan Freeman. She dreamed of one day becoming a successful actor and film producer like him.
Miss Quince will never give in to your transparent dishonor.
I'll have you know that my dishonor is not transparent.
So drama classes were her favorite. Christine never lacked love because for her parents, she was the lid that covered the bottle of their love. Her mother made sure she watched every one of her steps, because as she would later claim, she had no other jewel to monitor other than her. Little did she know that something terrible would soon befall her. It began when Christine started complaining of pains in her joints, back, and abdomen. Some stones, she would find it hard to sleep at night, squirming in bed while the world rested. At first, Christine thought these weren't anything to worry about, because of course, children would always have that kind of experience after playing too much at school. This was what many of her family members said after seeing or hearing about how she was feeling. What's more, she wasn't even acting like a child who was getting terribly ill. In confirmation of what her parents and other family members said, Christine convinced herself she would soon stop feeling the way she constantly felt. Things looked changed quickly. The joy and happiness had come back to her parents' life, but it did not last long before things began going south again. She began complaining this time more intensely.
I don't want to talk about this. Please, I have the worst headache. Can you just stop? Can you call the doctors and help me, please?
Her parents then realized that something really big was up, but it did not stop with them since they wanted to watch a bit. Her teachers also began taking it up because she was complaining hard. When it became that uncomfortable, nobody had to tell them before they decided to see a doctor. Given the nature of the complaints, and when she started making them, they were expecting something minor. They'd be surprised by the result. According to the result obtained from the doctor, Christine did not have something minor. It was a very terrible disease big time, and it is none other than a rare and aggressive leukemia. When her parents heard it at first, they were devastated. Her mother could not just take it. This was a girl expected to be fine in due time, not somebody who would be bedridden for so long. All their hopes had been dashed already. Except for the words of encouragement from friends and loved ones, their life was essentially unbearable. Despite being broken, they guarded the information from Christine. She began asking questions from her parents, too. Christine was a very young girl, but she was not stupid. Her parents began to consider not keeping the information away from her, but they needed to be extra careful. Children often are not the type to be so resilient in the face of their own obituary. In fact, they often avoid thinking about it at all. When her father agreed to the suggestion that she deserved to hear about it, her mother disagreed entirely.
If one of them's a match, that'd speed things up a lot.
His parents died young. He was an only child. There's no living relatives that I know of.
Something will turn up soon.
How soon is soon? Will he miss a lot of school?
Stating how inconvenient it would be for her throughout the remaining short lifetime. Her reason was that giving her hope that she could still make it would be better in the long run. Her father had to patiently convince her mother, who eventually agreed to that. Telling Christine about her condition was at first awkward. Her father could have done the job perfectly, but the mother felt she could say it in a better way. As she was trying to tell her about the condition, she broke down. Christine and her dad had to do the job of the only therapist in the room to stop her mother from crying. At this point, Christine knew something terrible was about to strike her, only that she was in the dark about just how terrible. As soon as her mother said it to her, she broke down. It was all written over her that she felt disappointed with life. Her mother held her hands and looked her in the face, telling her all would be well, but Christine was no such small girl. She had been told she only had a few months to be alive on Earth. It could not just be put aside so simply like that. She had things she had set her mind on achieving. They would all go away, and she would be like her pa who had been cast to the ground 2 years earlier. The whole family could not stop themselves from the utter depression that befell them after the revelation. A week later, Christine's parents began to notice that she had become better. She was responding well to treatment. By the time her mother would speak again with her, she had accepted her death. She saw it as something that could happen to just anyone, and because of that, one should never be too bad about it. She would be strong even in the face of that, she told her mother. Her parents, who had been depressed that their child was depressed too, began to rethink their experience.
Listen to me. You're not in physical pain anymore. Have you been doing the tapping thing that one shrink taught you, remember, for anxiety and stress, and it calms you down?
Maybe they should try being strong about it all too. Little by little, Christine and her parents began to shake away the depression. Reality, as Christine said, had dawned on them, and it would not be going away by their depression. The courage of a small girl had helped a whole family heal. Her father vowed to help her with anything she wanted. The doctor treating her was so happy too. He made sure to tell her parents that he had never seen a girl that courageous in his 10 years of service. But her courageous moment was shorter than they thought. She went back into depression so quickly and would not talk about it. It took her father long hours of pacification and encouragement before she made clear what she wanted. According to her father, she was unhappy that her hopes of hugging Morgan Freeman, her favorite actor, had been dashed. She had thought that as a beautiful blonde, she would make it to Hollywood and get a role beside her beloved Morgan. He then promised her to try all that he could. Of course, he was lying all about it. There was no way Morgan Freeman would be coming to her side, according to him. However, they wanted to keep her hopeful so that she could stay strong till the dreaded day came. To their surprise, Christine knew it was all a lie, and she was not buying it, except they could bring her Morgan. Who would persuade Morgan to visit and hug her? Who would persuade Morgan to visit and hug her? Christine's dad, Henry, thought best about what to do in order to satisfy his daughter's hunger for Morgan Freeman. He tried researching on Google Morgan's email, and he was lucky to see 2 or 3. Crafting the message was no easy job, since it had to be as moving as possible. He made sure to go to the hospital on the day he wanted to write it. Looking at his child, as he had thought, indeed helped him write something heartbreaking. He had already gotten the email address, so he felt he only needed to send it to Morgan, so maybe he would listen to his yearnings. He sent the message the same day, but 2 days later he got no reply. He checked the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th day, but nothing came out of it. He had already thought about this all along too. Morgan would not be so easy to get like that. It is in the nature of his profession to always be far away from the crowd. Yet something told him deeply that he could still bring him down to Christine before she gave up the ghost. He tried sending a follow-up message, but nothing came from Morgan Freeman, confirming what he had thought all along. He wanted to give up, but upon visiting Christine, he was reminded how important it is for her. Emphatically again, she said a hug from Morgan Freeman was all that was necessary to make her feel she lived her life satisfactorily. Henry went ahead to try directly messaging Morgan's account on Twitter, but it was just simply impossible. He then tried writing a comment underneath one of his posts, but Morgan did not notice it at all. It seemed, as has been said, a social media manager has been managing Morgan Freeman's account, so we probably could not see that message, not to talk of interacting with it, because according to many, Morgan Freeman is a good man who would not think twice about such a request. When Henry asked a former celebrity manager why Morgan Freeman could not respond, he started by advising Henry that he should not take it personally. Then he said that there are often many people asking for the same favor. As Christine was struggling in the hospital, there were other children somewhere struggling with one thing or the other and looking for the same favor from Morgan Freeman on the same day. That is not considering celebrities' schedules that barely allow them time with their families. Having heard that, Henry wanted to throw in the towel, but he wanted to inform Christine's mother first. She agreed that they should lie about a message from Morgan telling them he would come very soon. When they showed it to Christine, she cherished it, but it still did nothing to help her situation. Her eyes were still, like a lake, but just that they knew no peace. She wanted to cry, her father could see, but she was doing all that she could to prevent that from happening. While in the hospital, Christine's father's phone rang, and it was a news notification. A girl suffering from the same disease as Christine had requested for Keanu Reeves and got her wish fulfilled, but it was not done the traditional way. It was in response to a published story about her. Henry, after reading it, thought he could do the same for their girl, only that getting a publisher would be hard, but he remembered that he had an Uncle John who worked for the Times. He only had to call John, which he did right in the hospital. John never let it run for so long before agreeing. The second day, he came with a photographer to get Christine's images. After that, he collected what Henry had written so he could insert 1 or 2 quotes directly from it. He also got some words from Christine's mother and the doctor. It remained getting it published on time. Luck favored them this way too, as Christine's story had a safe pass. Those who read it could not but pray that Morgan agreed to hug the girl as she wished many times over. On Friday, which was the 5th day, Morgan landed in the hospital. His entry alone turned Christine's eyes into the jovial and joyful child she was when leukemia had not caught up with her. She wept joyfully on seeing Morgan. The African-American filmmaker and actor went close to the young girl and spoke with her before giving her the sweet hug she had always wanted, all this while in front of many people and her parents, who were so glad about it. Morgan wanted the media to not pick it up, but instead went into the news with the real story. 7 months after, and barely a minute, Christine would give up the ghost as her parents watched her. Teary and dejected, she said to them, "I hugged Morgan. It's all I ever wanted," bringing the total number of scientific investigations on each craft to 11. Consequently, Voyager 1 flew by Jupiter, capturing breathtaking images of the gas giant and making groundbreaking discoveries. It revealed intricate details of Jupiter's turbulent atmosphere, discovered volcanic activity on its moon, and observed the Great Red Spot in unprecedented detail. Interestingly, scientists only had to wait about a year, until 1980, to get close-up pictures of Saturn. Like Jupiter, the ringed planet turned out to be full of surprises. The spacecraft's observations of Saturn's rings and moons were revolutionary. It discovered new moons, provided detailed imagery of Saturn's ring structure, and showcased the intricacies of the planet's dynamic system. One of Voyager 1's targets was the F ring, a thin structure discovered only the year previously by NASA's Pioneer 11 probe. Voyager's higher-resolution camera spotted 2 new moons, Prometheus and Pandora, whose orbits keep the icy material in the F ring in a defined orbit. It also discovered Atlas and a new ring, the G ring, and took images of several other Saturn moons. However, one puzzle for astronomers was Titan, the second-largest moon in the solar system, after Jupiter's Ganymede. Close-up pictures of Titan showed nothing but orange haze, leading to years of speculation about what it was like underneath. It was in the mid-2000s that humanity would find out, thanks to photos snapped from beneath the haze by the European Space Agency's Huygens atmospheric probe. Consequently, the Saturn encounter ended Voyager 1's primary mission. The focus shifted to tracking the 590-pound, 720 kilograms craft as it sped toward interstellar space. However, 2 decades before it notched that milestone, Voyager 1 took one of the most iconic photos in spaceflight history. On February 14, 1990, the probe turned back toward Earth. It snapped an image of its home planet from 3.7 billion miles, 6 billion kilometers away. The photo shows Earth as a tiny dot suspended in a ray of sunlight. However, while Voyager 2 continued its journey to Uranus and Neptune, Voyager 1 embarked on a different trajectory. Its path eventually took it out of the solar system's plane, providing a unique vantage point to observe the heliosphere, the region influenced by the sun's magnetic field and solar wind. What discoveries did it make on this new journey? Despite being over 14 billion miles from Earth, Voyager 1 remains in contact with NASA through its deep space network. The spacecraft continues to send valuable data about its surroundings, offering insights into the nature of interstellar space and the boundary regions of our solar system. As Voyager 1 continued its journey beyond the outer planets, it became the first human-made object to enter interstellar space. This momentous occasion occurred on August 25, 2012, when Voyager 1 officially crossed the heliopause to the broader interstellar medium. Voyager 1's entry into interstellar space allowed it to study the heliosphere from a new perspective. The heliosphere is a protective bubble created by the sun's solar wind, shielding our solar system from most cosmic rays from other stars. In interstellar space, Voyager 1 observed changes in the surrounding environment. The intensity of charged particles, such as cosmic rays, increased, indicating its departure from the heliosphere. These observations provided valuable data about the heliosphere's dynamics and interstellar space's characteristics. The discovery was made public in a study published in Science the following year. The results came to light after Voyager 1's plasma wave instrument recorded a powerful solar eruption between April 9th and May 22, 2013. The eruption caused electrons near Voyager 1 to vibrate. From the oscillations, researchers discovered that Voyager 1's surroundings had a higher density than what is found just inside the heliosphere. However, it seems contradictory that electron density is higher in interstellar space than in the Sun's neighborhood. However, researchers explained that the electron density is dramatically low at the heliosphere's edge compared with locations near Earth. Researchers then backtracked through Voyager 1's data and nailed down the official departure date to August 25, 2012. The date was fixed by the electron oscillations and the spacecraft's measurements of charged solar particles. On that fateful day, the same day that Apollo 11 astronaut Neil Armstrong died, the probe saw a 1,000-fold drop in these particles and a 9% increase in galactic cosmic rays that come from outside the solar system. Voyager 1 was 11.25 billion miles from the Sun at that point, or about 121 astronomical units, AU. Since flying into interstellar space, Voyager 1 has sent back valuable information about conditions in this zone of the universe. Its discoveries include showing that cosmic radiation out there is very intense and demonstrating how charged particles from the Sun interact with those emitted by other stars. The spacecraft's capabilities continue to astound engineers. In December 2017, for example, NASA announced that Voyager 1 successfully used its backup thrusters to orient itself to talk with Earth. The Trajectory Correction Maneuver, TCM thrusters, had been used in November 1980 during Voyager 1's flyby of Saturn. Since then, the spacecraft has primarily used its standard attitude control thrusters to swing the spacecraft in the proper orientation to communicate with Earth. As the performance of the attitude control thrusters began to deteriorate, NASA decided to test the TCM thrusters. This idea could extend Voyager 1's operational life. That test ultimately succeeded. However, mission team members have also taken other measures to extend Voyager 1's life. For example, they turned off the spacecraft's cameras shortly after the pale blue dot photo was taken to help conserve Voyager 1's limited power supply. Over the years, the mission team has turned off 5 other scientific instruments, leaving Voyager 1 with 4 still functioning: the cosmic ray subsystem, the low-energy charged particles instrument, the magnetometer, and the plasma wave subsystem. Consequently, similar measures have been taken with Voyager 2, which currently has 5 operational instruments. Over the last 45 years, the Voyager missions have provided this knowledge and helped change our understanding of the Sun and its influence in ways no other spacecraft can. In a NASA statement, Linda Spilker, Voyager's deputy project scientist at JPL, said that today, as both Voyagers explore interstellar space, they provide humanity with observations of uncharted territory. However, maintaining communication with Voyager 1 presented challenges in a significant turnout of events. The spacecraft's distance from Earth, which is over 14 billion miles, resulted in a substantial communication lag. Signals took approximately 21 hours to travel from Earth to Voyager 1 and vice versa. Despite the vast distance, NASA's Deep Space Network continued to receive signals from the spacecraft, allowing scientists to monitor its health and collect data. Interestingly, however, Voyager 1 carried a significant payload during its journey, the Golden Record. As I mentioned in the early part of this video, this phonograph record contained sounds and images representing Earth, intended as a message to potential extraterrestrial life. It included greetings in multiple languages, music, and photos portraying the diversity of life on our planet. So, Voyager 1's journey into interstellar space has left an indelible mark on the history of space exploration. It continues to operate, sending back data about its surroundings and contributing to our understanding of the outer reaches of the cosmos. But do you think a fantastic revolutionary spacecraft like this could have inherent challenges affecting its functionality? What are its challenges? And how about NASA's interference in solving them? Over the decades, Voyager 1 faced numerous challenges. Its technology, considered cutting edge in the late 70s, needed to be updated, posing difficulties in communication and maintenance. The spacecraft experienced glitches, and some of its instruments gradually ceased functioning. Let's explore some of the challenges. Launched in 1977, Voyager 1's technology, while cutting edge at the time, needs to be updated. The spacecraft's computing power, memory storage, and data processing capabilities are minuscule compared to modern devices. This antiquation presents a significant challenge in terms of communication and the ability to adapt to evolving mission requirements. The team had to devise creative solutions to overcome the limitations of the spacecraft's aging technology. But that's not all. Voyager 1's incredible distance from Earth, over 14 billion miles, results in a substantial communication lag. Signals take approximately 21 hours to travel one way between the spacecraft and Earth. This extended lag makes real-time troubleshooting impossible, requiring meticulous planning and coordination for adjustments or repairs. Also, Voyager 1 is powered by a radioisotope thermoelectric generator, RTG, converting the heat released by the decay of radioactive isotopes into electrical power. While this power source has demonstrated remarkable longevity, it has its limitations. The energy output gradually decreases over time as the radioactive isotopes decay. As the power diminishes, the spacecraft faces constraints in operating its instruments and transmitting data. Over the decades, Voyager 1 has experienced various instrumental malfunctions. Some of its instruments have ceased functioning entirely, while others have exhibited reduced performance. Managing a spacecraft with aging and malfunctioning instruments poses a continuous challenge for the mission team. It also lacks the advanced propulsion systems found in more modern spacecraft. Its trajectory was set during its initial mission to the outer planets, and significant course adjustments are challenging. The spacecraft's limited maneuverability restricts its ability to explore new regions or target specific celestial bodies. Also, a harsh space environment is a persistent challenge of Voyager 1. Voyager 1 has endured the extreme conditions of space, including exposure to cosmic rays and micrometeoroids. These environmental factors can degrade the spacecraft's hardware over time. Radiation exposure, in particular, poses a threat to sensitive electronic components. But what is NASA's response to these challenges? What are they doing to reduce or stop these challenges? In the face of challenges encountered by Voyager 1, NASA has demonstrated remarkable ingenuity, strategic planning, and ongoing efforts to maximize the scientific return from the aging spacecraft. Ingenious troubleshooting and resourceful problem-solving by the NASA team allowed Voyager 1 to persist in its mission. NASA's Mission Control regularly updates Voyager 1's onboard software to address functional limitations and optimize performance. This includes refining command sequences to accommodate the spacecraft's aging hardware. By implementing carefully crafted instructions, the team ensures that Voyager 1 continues to execute its mission objectives efficiently. Also, given the diminishing power output from the radioisotope thermoelectric generator, RTG, NASA has implemented stringent power management strategies. Engineers carefully prioritize essential functions and allocate power resources to maximize scientific observations. This involves periodically shutting down non-essential systems to conserve energy for critical instruments and communication. Consequently, when faced with malfunctions or reduced performance in specific instruments, NASA engineers have developed creative workarounds. They design alternative operational modes or use different instruments to gather comparable data. This resourceful approach allows the team to adapt to changing circumstances and extract valuable scientific insights despite the limitations of aging hardware. Moreover, the Deep Space Network, DSN, NASA's communication system with distant spacecraft, plays a crucial role in maintaining contact with Voyager 1. Engineers continually optimize DSN operations to enhance communication efficiency. This includes refining antenna configurations, improving signal processing techniques, and adapting to the challenges posed by the spacecraft's immense distance. With limited maneuverability, NASA strategically plans Voyager 1's observations to maximize scientific returns. The mission team carefully selects celestial targets and coordinates data collection to address specific research questions. This approach ensures that the spacecraft's remaining instruments are utilized effectively, providing valuable information about interstellar space and the heliosphere. Significantly, recognizing the cultural and scientific significance of Voyager 1, NASA actively engages the public in the ongoing mission. Regular updates, press releases, and multimedia content ensure that the achievements and challenges faced by Voyager 1 are shared with a global audience. This engagement not only fosters public interest, but also highlights the enduring legacy of the spacecraft, inspiring future generations. It will interest you that NASA maintains a vigilant watch over Voyager 1's health and functionality. The mission team continuously monitors telemetry data, diagnosing any anomalies promptly. Engineers can anticipate potential issues and devise proactive solutions by conducting in-depth analyses of the spacecraft's performance. This proactive approach has been instrumental in overcoming challenges and extending the mission's longevity. However, due to the significant peculiarities and functionalities of Voyager 1, it has incited curiosity in people to know the significance of Voyager 2, what it did, and how it impacted cosmic explorations. Let's dive into another realm of cosmic explorations and examine Voyager 2 and its achievements. So what is Voyager 2, and what are its accomplishments so far? Interestingly, Voyager 2 is the only spacecraft to study all 4 of the solar system's giant planets at close range. It discovered a 14th moon at Jupiter. Voyager 2 was the first human-made object to fly past Uranus. At Uranus, Voyager 2 discovered 10 new moons and 2 new rings. It is NASA's second spacecraft to enter interstellar space. It is also the first human-made object to fly by Neptune. Voyager 2 discovered 5 moons, 4 rings, and a great dark spot at Neptune. Consequently, its primary mission was to conduct a grand tour of the outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Voyager 2's achievements have significantly expanded our understanding of these distant worlds and beyond. Significantly, Voyager 2's accomplishments extended beyond the grand tour. The spacecraft continues its journey into interstellar space, sending valuable data about the heliosphere and cosmic rays. Like its counterpart, Voyager 1, it carries the Golden Record, a time capsule representing Earth's sounds and images, intended as a message to potential extraterrestrial life. But did you know that NASA nearly lost the Voyager 2 spacecraft forever? How did this happen, and how was it recovered? The unthinkable happened when Suzanne Dodd's team transmitted a routine command to Voyager. So what happened? They accidentally sent the wrong version, which pointed the interstellar probe's antenna slightly away from Earth. When they next expected to receive data, they heard nothing at all. The small error almost made humanity lose its connection with the famous spacecraft, now 12.4 billion miles from home. So, Dodd's team at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory had spotted the command error. It corrected it, but then mistakenly sent out the flawed version. It felt awful. It was a moment of panic because we were 2 degrees off point, which was substantial, says Dodd, the project manager of the Voyager interstellar mission. However, the team settled on a solution. They blast a shout command in the probe's direction, telling it to adjust the antenna back toward Earth. If the signal was strong enough, the craft could still receive it, even though its antenna was offset. They sent the highest power signal they could, using the high-elevation 70-meter 100-kilowatt S-band transmitter at the communication station in Canberra, Australia. The station is part of NASA's Deep Space Network, an international system of giant antennas managed by JPL. Consequently, because of Voyager 2's trajectory, one can only communicate with it via telescopes in Earth's southern hemisphere. There was, however, no guarantee of success, and it would take 37 hours to see if the solution had worked. This is the time it would take for their signal to ping the craft, and then, if they were lucky, for a signal from Voyager 2 to ping them back. Sadly, the team spent a sleepless night waiting, and then, just like a miracle, it worked. Contact was said to be restored on August 3rd at 9:30 p.m. Pacific Time. A relief indeed. That brings us to the end of this video. What do you think about Voyager 1 and 2 and their significant achievements? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more.